Hello, good evening. 20 to 10, I thought I was going to go to bed. About an hour ago, I had a call. A call? At least I never expected to get a call, but that late at night, it was 9:30, I think it was, something like that. No, hang on, it must have been 8:30. And it was from a guy. He actually said it was all right to use his name. I don't know whether I should. Yeah, all right. His name was William. And yeah, he's American. And initially he sent me an email a couple of days ago, and I thought, yeah, okay, fair enough. And he wanted to talk to me. So I waited, and I'm thinking, he said around 7 he'd be ringing me our time, but as it turned out it's about 8:30 here, about an hour ago. He'd outlined in his email to me about how shocked and pissed off he was, and I can understand why. He has a brother. He was 4 years younger than him, and well, I won't give everything away. I mean, he's in his 60s, and his brother's a little bit younger. I think he's just around 60. And they've been inseparable. They've travelled the world. They used to be in the military, apparently, and they were sort of almost in the same, I don't know, regiment or whatever they would call it there, the same band. And he told me of a story where they came about 8 years ago to the Philippines with the idea of having some fun. And when they got here, of course, they thought it was wonderful, the array of all the beautiful ladies. And they were basically both looking for wives, because one had lost his wife where she died. I think it was William. I think he signed his name Bill. And his brother, I couldn't believe it when he said his brother's name was Benjamin. So it reminded me of Bill and Ben, the flower pot men in England. And that's how I remember I just remember them as Bill and Ben. And they came to the Philippines, everything was great. In fact, I think it was William, the guy, the older one. He found a wife, and he initially decided to bring her back to America. And it wasn't that many weeks later, apparently, his brother also found a girl, and it took him a little longer to get her access to come into the States. But eventually they all both relocated back to America, and things were great for about 4 years or so, something like that. And they were just average, I mean, he did send me a picture of, it was Benjamin that sent me a picture of his wife. She was quite a pretty girl. They were in their early 30s, both of them. And they were unrelated to each other, but they came from the same area, somewhere outside of Dumaguete, somewhere over that way. Anyway, they had a normal life, and they were doing well. I think Benjamin's wife was working in a supermarket, and Bill, his wife was working in a business that Bill had, some sort of a service centre, like a garage, I suppose you would call it. Anyway, everything was going fine, but then apparently around Christmas time, about 5 years ago, this would have been now, I'm not very good on dates, but anyway, it was around Christmas time, and one of the wives went back to the Philippines, and I think it was Benjamin's wife, the one that went back to the Philippines. And anyway, they had their Christmas. One of them had their Christmas with his wife in America, and the other one, obviously, his wife was back in the Philippines. He didn't join her, so he had a lonely Christmas with his brother and his wife. But when she finally got back about 8 weeks afterwards, at the end of January apparently, it was all off. And of course there was shock from Bill, that's the older one, that his younger brother had fallen under the truck, so to speak. His marriage was on the rocks, and there was no apparent reason for it. But unbeknown to Benjamin, Bill had been a naughty boy. Bill had actually prompted the visit back of Benjamin's wife back to the Philippines, as opposed to hide what was going on between him and his brother's wife. And it all came to a big head over what the other brother had done. So, I mean, the two brothers were at each other, literally, and just couldn't reconcile the situation between each other. And apparently 2 years later, Bill, who is now shacked up with his brother's ex-wife, or the wife that he obviously eventually separated from, was doing fine apparently. That's according to Bill, William. And guess what? You guessed it. Benjamin is now with Bill's wife. Talk about twist of fate. So both the brothers have now got each other's ex-wives. And Bill contacted me. I couldn't believe it. He's contacted me as to what I thought he should do. And I'm thinking, you're asking me what he should do? I'm gobsmacked at the situation that they found themselves in, simply because you couldn't even write a book about it. It just seemed so bizarre. And I said to him, I said, look, I'm sorry, I'm not a marriage guidance person. Sure, I've been 10 years here. I've gotten to know a lot about how Filipinos think. But to be quite honest, I think I'm best left out of all of this stuff. But I said, well, it's such a weird story that you told me. I can't hide it. Even if I try and dress it up in some other way, not to identify you, I've got to share it with the rest of the channel, because, I mean, okay, people can get married, they can go to England, they can take their wife to Australia or America, but two brothers, what are the chances that two brothers would marry a Filipina, each of them, at slightly different times, go back and live in America and end up with one of them running off with one of the wives, and in the end, the other one ends up with the ex-wife of the one that ran off with his wife. I said, you know, you could write a movie about this, Bill, and now you're asking me for advice, and I'm thinking, why do you need advice? You've got a new wife, you're 60 plus now, and your brother's got your ex-wife. What advice do you need? And I think, well, you've made your bed now, you've got to lie in it, I suppose. And I really can't give you any advice. I don't know what you guys think out there, but I just think it's so weird that I'm just gobsmacked. I don't know what to say. And it's certainly not what I expected to find on Tuesday evening here in the Philippines, after speaking with William for 3/4 of an hour while he explained the situation to me. And I just had to share it with you because it just, oh dear me, it sounds like something from, I don't know, Philippine Antics would be uncovering the dastardly truth. But what do you guys think? I don't know what I would advise Bill. I'm not quite sure what he's actually seeking from me. He said that he has a good relationship with her, and he's still on talking terms with his ex. And I'm just thinking, the only thing I could think about, I said, I think maybe you need to move to, where's that place in America where people have more than one wife? Maybe you should move into that sect or whatever they call them. And then you can carry on being married, maybe having half a dozen kids to each of you, and they'll all be related. I don't have an answer for that. And it astounds me what some of the stories that people send me over the last few years now, by email or have contacted me by phone on using, what do they call it, Messenger. And I'm gobsmacked. So maybe you can give me some advice so I can give it to William. I think they've given their own advice to each other, and that is that the world is crazy, that's for sure. Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And like I said earlier on, I got to see my teeth today, and in about 3 days I'll get to meet them more personally. So that will be good to finally be able to bite my fingernails. Bye now.